Well, you know, the general concept of the Pennsylvania Baseball Network is to create a network of like-minded people from one side of the state to the next. And we've been able to do that. We've been able to put a network of really, really great baseball people and sports performance trainers and guys that are good with arm health and arm safety, a real network of people. And so what we've been able to accomplish is this group of people across the state of Pennsylvania all working together for one common goal, one common cause, which is the development of our players. And the cool thing about that is the players in our districts still have the same local feel. They're playing with their friends, but yet they're attached to something much bigger than a local type travel program. Well, you know, there's a lot of travel programs out there that are really good programs, and we commend all those people for doing great things. But we also wanted to do something a little different. And I think one of the things that makes the PBN different is that we're building in a lot more value in terms of non-baseball things. We have leadership training, we have interpersonal communication skills training, we have community service built into our program, we have sports performance built into our program. So the reality of it is we're doing a lot more than just baseball, and ultimately we're really more interested in developing people than we are baseball players, because my good buddy Rob Bruno used to say you're going to be a human being a lot longer than you're a baseball player, so get good at being a human being. And that's sort of the general theme of the PBN. Well, you know, getting involved in the PBN is a relatively simple process. Players need to go on our website and learn what we stand for, what we're doing. We want them to be educated, and then we want to encourage them to come out to a tryout where they have to, you know, perform baseball skills, and then, you know, if they're PBN material, we're going to invite them to the program. So it's you know, we really want to encourage a lot of kids to do that because we think we can impact them in a pretty profound way. You know, the PBN is really not based anywhere in the sense that we have players in Erie, we have players in Philadelphia, we have players in Pittsburgh, we have players in Scranton, so all over the state. But our home base, if you will, where we're going to have a lot of our bigger events, will be in Palmyra, Pennsylvania. A place called In the Net Sports Complex is really what we call the home of the PBN. It's right outside of Hershey, Pennsylvania. Yeah, one of the cool things about the PBN too, and even though we're a statewide program, the state is divided into districts. So all the kids in each district are playing together. They grow up together, they're playing together, and they practice together. So it really is a combination of a much larger program than a regional program, and yet it still has the feel of a local program. Well, I'll tell you, the term player development now is almost becoming cliche. I mean, every website I'm on, it's all about player development, and so that's a good thing. The downside of that is player development means a lot of things to a lot of people. So when somebody asks me about player development, I'm really thinking more about personal development. I'm talking about the whole person, not just the baseball player. So if we wanted to break it down, we're going to develop baseball players. We're going to help them develop their skills. We're going to help them develop their athleticism, their IQ, their baseball IQ. So that's the baseball side of things. Their mechanics, all those things in baseball. But beyond that, we're going to spend a long time talking about character, commitment, integrity, honesty, being a great teammate, and then even beyond that, when we talk about development, we're talking about interpersonal communication skills, something that will serve you very well in life if you learn to communicate well. We're going to talk about a servant mentality. We're going to encourage our kids to not be me-centered. We want them to think outside themselves. Getting involved in community service. It's just amazing how many great things there are to do. And as an organization, we don't want to miss that. So our development is really about developing the whole person. Yeah, one of the things I think is a strength of ours is instruction, because we're only going to have people instructing these players that are very skilled instructors and have a very high knowledge of the game. You know, there's a lot of well-meaning people out there instructing, but the reality of it is their baseball knowledge may not be that great, and sometimes they're doing more harm than good. Even though their heart's in the right place, the instruction leaves a little bit to be desired. So we want to make sure in every district in the state that we've got really high-level instruction. You know, I heard some guys say, if you don't see it on TV, meaning the Major League Baseball, if you don't see it there, chances are it's not a good thing to be doing. So we're going to teach our players how to play the game the right way, and the instruction will be professional level instruction. Well, we are really excited about the Pennsylvania Baseball Network State Championship, because we really believe it will be a legit state championship, because as I mentioned, we're going to have teams from all over the state. We're going to have teams from Erie and teams from Philadelphia and teams from State College all playing in one event and in every age group. And they're going to be playing hard, because the winner of that event, which will be held at in the Net Sports Complex in Palmyra, the winner of that event will be crowned the state champion. Now, a lot of people don't know this yet, but we're going to probably end up taking our state championships in Pennsylvania, or the state champions, and send them on to a national championship against some of the other states that we're working in for a national championship. So there's going to be a lot to play for in the PBN. Well, certainly there's a lot of exposure in the PBN, and the reason for that is because the people that are involved in the PBN are highly connected in the baseball community. You know, we've been at this for a long time, almost 10 years now, so the relationships with college coaches and pro scouts is vast for not just a few people in our program, but a lot of people. So there won't be any players in the PBN. As a director, I can say this publicly, there won't be anybody falling through the cracks. You know, we're really selective with who's going to be coaching the teams. And the reason is because our coaches, we don't even like to call them coaches, we like to call them mentors. They're the guys that are actually going to be having a lot of influence and impact on our players. So we're going to be very selective with who coaches the teams. They're going to have a vast knowledge of baseball. They're going to have excellent communication skills. Maybe more important than anything, they're going to have a great temperament for working with kids. You know, good coaches are teachers. They're not yellers and screamers and you know, guys that can't control their temper. So we're gonna have people that are the right people for that job. Well, first of all, I'm a dad, so I look at things like a parent, just like all of our parents do. And probably the first thing I would say is you want your son to be respected, and I can guarantee you he will be respected in this program. I'll say it another way, he won't be disrespected in this program. As a parent, I want my kids around great kids, great people, and that influence will be prevalent. So, you know, we're very selective here, so we're going to have a lot of great people for, you know, our players to be around. The influence will be positive, both on a character standpoint, on how to play the game, and academics. Those are positive influences from our mentors, our coaches. You know, we're going to be setting a great example for these kids, how to be stand-up men. And that's a big deal to most parents, is that their kids are around men that exemplify the characteristics that most people would think are success traits. So, you know, I think we're looking at it like a parent. Like, would we want our own kids to be in this program? Would the influence be something we would want? And the answer should be a resounding yes. Yeah, the first thing we did when we started working on this project was we looked at the state of Pennsylvania and decided, you know, how the districts would be divided. And basically the definition of a district is can that area sustain a minimum of 10 teams, starting at 8U, 9U, 10U, right up. And if it can, it could be a district. And then we decided we wanted a guy that would be running the district, and we call that guy a district director. And so the district director will be doing a lot of the hiring of the coaches and running the district. But right now I think we have 15 districts in the state of Pennsylvania, so it's pretty vast across the state. That'll probably depend on the district itself, because not every district is going to be run exactly the same. There's some guys that are going to be way more involved maybe than others, and they may have a policy that the players cannot play for other teams, and they don't need to play for other teams because there's enough going on. And there may be other guys that are okay with that as long as it doesn't disrupt our schedule. We will always be the number one commitment for a player, but there may be some guys who will be okay with that, but I think that's more of a district-to-district type question. Yeah, well, certainly we encourage players to play other sports. We're not an organization that says you have to play baseball 12 months out of the year. Certainly there are kids that do that, and we have opportunities for those kids, but kids that want to play other sports, we encourage that. We support that. That's not a problem in our program at all. Yeah, well, first of all, the whole membership idea is really to be a convenience for our families. We want them to be able to pay one monthly amount and know what is included in that membership. So they're not being nickeled and dimed, and there's not add-on costs all the time. So we're being real clear with everything that's included in the membership, and then they can just kind of budget for that, know what they're getting, know what it costs, and it's a really nice, it's not innovative. I mean, health clubs do it, and a lot of other places have memberships, but I haven't seen a lot of that in the baseball community, so we're excited about the membership. Yeah, boy, I tell you, you don't have to go very far to hear about arm problems, whether it's, locally or all the way up to the major leagues. It seems to be pretty prevalent. But, we want to do everything we can to keep our players' arms healthy, and a lot of it is education, especially at the younger ages. Certainly there's some overuse issues going on. Certainly there's mechanical issues that contribute to arm health, but sometimes it's not being proactive. So we have a guy named Dr. Chris McKenzie, who is a tremendous resource for our program, and he's going to spend a lot of time educating our parents on proper arm health. Well, let's face it, we live here in Pennsylvania, and it's cold. And when I grew up, you put on your spikes in the spring and took them off in the fall and picked up your football, and then it was basketball. And certainly kids still do that, but when I was young, there was no opportunity to develop baseball skills year-round, and now there is. Now there is. Our program is a year-round program for the players that want that. And certainly for the players who want to play in a warm weather climate or play at a college program, that's in the South, let's say, yeah, you've almost got to train year-round to compete with the players that are playing year-round in Florida and Texas and California. So it's a big perk to have a program now in Pennsylvania that is truly a year-round program. Yeah, the PBN really has a place for most players. And I say most because we're not just for elite players, although we'll have a lot of elite players in the program. And we're not just for players that are entry level. So we're going to have a place for a lot of different levels of play in the PBN. Well, we are going to play in some great tournaments. Now the neat thing about the districts is they're going to get to choose the tournaments they play in. So we're not mandating our districts to play in any certain places. But I would tell you, we're not going to be playing in places that don't make sense. We're not just chasing trophies and go win and beat up on teams 21-0 just so we can say we won a trophy. We're going to go where the best competition is, and I would rather lose to a good team than really pound a team that's not that good. So we'll seek out the best tournaments and the best competition. Well, each of our districts is going to have its own training facility. We're working on those right now all over the state. It's very exciting to think that the PBN will have its own training facility in each district. And one of the perks of that is going to be access to the facility. So a lot of our players at the platinum level, and that's just a choice whether they want to be at platinum level, they will be able to go in and use the facility as long as the facility is available during that time. We'll have a master calendar. But to be able to go in and get workouts in on their own and not be charged for it, well, I can only say as a kid that would have been a dream come true for me, to go in and get swings anytime I wanted, in the winter or something. So having our own facilities and having the access to the facilities for our families is going to be fantastic. We test our athletes, and the reason we test them is because we want to, number one, know how they are athletically, but we want them to know how they are athletically. And we have a fantastic way to do that that is completely objective. In other words, it's not somebody's opinion. We test their arm strength, we test their jumping ability. There's a big correlation between vertical leap and velocity. We test their 30-yard dash, 60-yard dash. We test their shuttle run, how athletic are they in a short movement. We have a medicine ball throw where they actually are exposing their core strength or lack thereof. And what happens is we give them a score, and that score indicates where they stack up against a lot of other players. And so our athletic testing combine is fantastic. And one other side benefit of that is the kids really learn to compete. We divide it up into bottom third, middle third, top third. Nobody wants to be in the bottom third, so they really have learned to compete to get out of that bottom third. Believe it or not, one of the things I'm most excited about is developing leaders. I really, really want this program to be about developing kids beyond baseball. And if you can develop leadership skills, which is really confidence and knowledge and experience and just learning to take the initiative, those are things that we want to really incorporate into this program. So we're going to have a lot of emphasis on leadership training in the PBN. One of the trends that I see, it's troubling to me, is that players start with this team, then they jump to this team, and then they jump to this team, and then they're 13, and now they're looking for a new team. If you're a parent and you've done that, you know that can be pretty stressful, and sometimes you don't know what you're getting at the new program. So one of the huge advantages I think we have is that we can start a player at literally 8 years old, and he could end up finishing with us at 17 years old. So the consistency of that and just the ability to not worry about finding another program, I think is huge. So that's for a parent, that should be a huge advantage to start here and finish here. You know, even though we're just getting started with the PBN, we're already getting a lot of corporate sponsors lined up. We're getting a lot of businesses across Pennsylvania that they see what we're doing, they want to be a part of it. The net result of that is that our families are going to get some amazing perks. We're going to have something literally called the Perks Card, and it's going to just be loaded with all kinds of value in it because of all these companies that want to be a part of what we're doing. So, win-win. You know, one of the things that we talk a lot about as we were forming this is making this affordable. You know, we want to pack a lot of value into the program, and we want to keep it affordable. That's not an easy thing to do, but I am really excited about the value of the membership, and our families are going to be able to pay monthly. So it's a very easy thing for most families to budget for. And that monthly membership is just something that I think a lot of families will really appreciate when they see how that's set up. So because every district will have its own facility, we're going to have the ability to bring in a lot of guest speakers and do a lot of education in our facility because it's ours exclusively. So, you know, we're going to be bringing in people like sports performance trainers. We'll have academic support going on. We'll have seminars for nutrition. We'll have leadership trainings. We'll have community support opportunities. There's just so many things that we can do because we have our own facilities and because we have so many connections and networks. We even want to have people coming in talking about career choices for these kids. A lot of these kids want to go into sports management and things like that, or coaching. We'll have people come in and do a talk to them about that kind of stuff. So really excited about the educational side of the program. You know, we set up the Pennsylvania Baseball Network for families that want more out of this experience of travel baseball than just baseball. So that would be my first answer. People that want more than what they're getting or what they've heard is available. The second thing that I would say is it's for people who want to pursue baseball. This is not rec ball. This is not casual. We're into development and we're into playing really good baseball. So it's for people that are really into baseball. That doesn't mean they don't play other sports, and it doesn't mean that they have to be baseball year round. It just means baseball is important to them. And so because we take it seriously. That's who I think And I would say maybe kids who want to be coached too, because there are kids that really, they just want to have fun and play, and they really don't want a lot of instruction. Our organization is gonna give a lot of instruction, so you have to want that to enjoy this process. You know, as far as the districts are concerned, you know, we're not getting crazy to the point where, you know, if you live on this side of the street, you play for this district, and if you live on this side of the street, you play for this district. We're going to do what makes sense for the family. So if there are families, if you're in an area that you're not sure which district you would fall into, you know, you will have a choice in the matter. We're not going to be arguing and fighting over districts. Yeah, what an exciting concept the United States Baseball Network, or the USBN, is for us. I mean, we are working like crazy to put this network of states together. So imagine that there is a network, us, connecting Pennsylvania and Illinois and Alabama and Michigan. And basically what we're doing is we're developing a brand in every one of those states. It's almost like a franchise where each state is being run very similarly to the others. And the advantages of that is we can all be working together, you know. So, you know, our vision is we're going to have 10, 20 states across the United States that are part of the USBN, and each one of those states will be divided into the districts just like every other state, and the states can have their own state championships, and then once we get the state champions, we can have national championship tournaments amongst ourselves. And I think the thing that will unite this is that we're all playing under the same umbrella. In other words, there's a theme throughout the USBN. You know, things like respect for the game and development of the players, and you know, developing people beyond baseball throughout the whole United States. To be connected like that, it's never been done before, and we're going to do it.